There are a number of burning economic issues in Nigeria's commodity space, and the first is that the Statistics Office has shifted Nigeria's October CPI and inflation data due for today until Monday, October the 18th. So that is part of the burning economic issues that we have on our hands this morning. So you will not be getting the CPI data. We're all waiting for that. Folks at Financial Derivatives Company already expects Nigeria's inflation to uptick to 11.6%. That was as a Tuesday. We're getting the latest on of that this morning. What will that be? Reading that on Monday is anyone's guess. So let's put that in our crosshair. But again, the big story this morning is that Nigeria's status is now that of middle income, according to the latest World Bank ranking, or as it were. So Nigeria is now there because our GDP per capita is $1,960. That's the part of the story. But again, where are we as far as the price of crude oil? That's anyone's guess. You can see that at 62.85. Brent crude remains bullish despite geopolitical issues and the apprehensions around fixing a trade deal between the U.S. and China. That's part of the story. But let's talk to Temitope Olugbile, who is a member of the economic think tank at Financial Derivatives Company. She's live here in the studio with us. She's putting more flesh on all of that I just mentioned. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you back here on the show. So you've got this list. Let's go straight to the downers and the goodies for local consumers. Which of these burning economic issues you folks have on your list are the big stories I should focus on as a consumer?
Okay, so the number one story you should focus on, like you said a few minutes ago, is about, the fact that we're not getting our October inflation figures today. The data report is now shifted, the release has now been shifted to Monday, the 18th of November. Eyes are peeled, waiting for these reports and, what it says and what is the direction of inflation. But we must understand that over a period of time, the MBS has been facing some resource constraints, and, I'm sure that they are working hard to, give us credible data, because when you find, events like the border closure and other such events, we can already tell what the inflation numbers will be saying. They just need to make sure that its quality control remains at, a very excellent level. So that is number one thing that you should focus on. Brent price is, still above $62 per barrel. It fell a little to $61 per barrel yesterday, but it's back up to 62, above 62. We also have that, external reserves is now about 40 points. We're basically approximately 40 now. Yeah. So, that is a bit a worrying trend. And so those are our burning issues for today.
But again, if you look at the goodies and the downers, of these, I'm sure the land border closure remained a very major issue for folks. Top of their mind as they begin to round off the year, wind down businesses, activities, kids who go on holiday in a couple of weeks now, so they're going to eat more rice while they're on holiday. Every one of us should be ready for that. So, that's going to be an issue for consumers.
It's a downer, So away from even the rice and, the impact of border closure on rice, we also got a report yesterday that about, the impact that the border closure is having on petrol prices, in the border communities. So what has happened is that, the petrol stations in those communities have been, there has been a ban in the shipping off of petrol, PMS, into those petrol stations. So obviously, when there's limited supply, obviously prices will spike. So, members of those communities are, crying out about, the impact it's having. We are feeling it in terms of rice and everything. They are feeling it in terms of, their petrol prices.
They also feel it in terms of rice, whatever, because they will eat. But again, the issue with the non-discharge of petrol products in 20 miles radius to the border, we all know that there are a lot of small villages, settlements and all that across the border of every country, anywhere in the world.
Yes.
But again, these are folks who will be using generators for little things. I'm sure there are maternity homes and all of that,
so
hospitals, little clinics that will need generators and what have you, and they need the fuel to power them. 20 miles, if you have to drive 20 miles before you can get petrol and bring it back, price will go up, lives could be at a very serious danger. So it's good that the National Assembly is asking the Comptroller General of Customs to step forward and provide more explanation for how they have to find a way around it as quickly as possible before we cut our nose to spite our face. I'm sure that is one big story. But let's talk about, let's go into mining a little bit. What are we mining today? That will be limestone, isn't it?
Yes, limestone. So, Nigeria is blessed with several solid minerals across the Federation, and one of which is limestone.
I heard we had about 40 or 45 that we have close to that.
I'm sure we have a lot, We have, the salt deposits, we have tin ore. There's so many across the Federation, one of which is limestone. So limestone, people just, limit it to cement, just,
That's
as an input for cement, do you understand? But there are it has a multi-purpose, it has different functions. You can use it for water treatment, you can use it for water treatment and many of such functions.
It's also a white thing like that you put in water, something like that. It's from limestone.
Yes, and the cast, when you have a fracture or something, the plaster of Paris, it's also limestone also goes into the making of that. We have it in several industries. So, and one of the things we have, like I said, we have limited it to cement. And if you look at, with these rains that we've been seeing, that have lasted till we're in November and we're still getting rains.
Got a heavy rainfall yesterday night.
So there's a distortion in our raining season and dry season periods now.
All over the world. It looks like climate changes.
So that has, affected the construction sector. We also have that construction slowed in Q2. But because limestone is also used as a road base, and with all these potholes we're seeing across Lagos, and the Minister of Works is looking into the potholes and how to make the roads better. I believe that there will be an increased demand for limestone, for cement, which obviously will increase the demand for limestone. So we have that. And one of the things with our solid minerals, again, is the investor perception. It's a very good sector to attract investors into. But what are investors perceiving about your solid minerals? Just a few months ago, we have the Zamfara, the illegal mining, and, the having to suspend mining activities there. So we need investment in this sector. But more importantly, how do we change the perception, of our mining
also that folks
activities.
Don't think that limestone is just only about cement.
Exactly. There's so many. It's used in the medical field. It's used, water treatment, like I said. So there's so many other things. So it is to attract investors into the we need regulatory action in that sector, and and money of sorts.
Which is mainly found in Nigeria's southwest.
Yes, and Middle Belt region.
A little bit to do now. Thank you so much. I think we appreciate this so much. You folks always try to get one product out for us to chew and think about. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
She's a member of the research team at Financial Derivatives Company.